Okay, welcome everybody. Today our guest, Johan Zanotti, EHF Master Coach, Swedish guy with Italian roots who is living in Denmark. It's very simple to understand. In his career, he coached Swedish, Norwegian and Danish clubs, well known with his multitask training handball philosophy. Actually, he was worked for 14 years for Swedish Handball Federation, from the beginning as an instructor of national youth camps and assistant head coach, took the bronze medal on the World Championship, and as a head coach played 2 finals with Generation 94, 95, and then moved to Norwegian Handball Federation, create some base of today's result of Norwegians. I'm sure that you will enjoy this special guy, our friend, and someone who make the best part of handball philosophy in the last few years. Welcome, Johan. Floor is yours.
Thank you for the warm words. Hello, everybody. I would like to give you a tour in my head about handball training. So I will start with sharing my my PowerPoint with you. So if everything works, you will see a big PowerPoint with my name, Johan Zanotti, on it. If not, we will have some support. Here we go. Is that okay? Everybody
Everything
see the...
is perfect. Yeah, you can continue.
Good, thank you. Okay, my friends. My name is, like Dragan said, is Johan Zanotti, and I like to see myself as a trainer and a coach and a dad and everything. But when I start to train my players, I always search to challenge them, not to give them easy tasks, but to challenge them every training. Not every training. Let's say 80% of every training is about challenge, to challenge their mind, their body, their mindset and everything. So when they come to training, I don't want them to be sure what's going to happen. So they can't just stand there and think, oh, today we're going to play this, we're going to do this, like we always do. No, not on my trainings anyhow. So let's start. I can start just a little few words about myself. This is my family. It is me with the bear. The one with the thing in her hands is my daughter, and the other one is my wife. My priorities used to be family, handball, and reputation. But now, when I'm taking a break, the things have changed a little bit. So this is how it looks right now. My reputation is on the same page as my family, and handball has actually gone down to 3rd place or 2nd place, 2nd half, which is a very new thing for me. But I'm still doing these webinars and I'm doing lectures and everything. So handball is still a very big part of my life, and I'm still a trainer for my girls team and everything, where I try to develop my mindset about how to train young players, and older players, because I think the mindset should be the same, to always challenge them, always challenge the players, no matter how their age is. They should be challenged. So let's start with the PowerPoint. When I do my exercises, I always think in 4 different modes. I think the physical, the technical, the tactical, and the mental. I always try to have, of these 4 different segments, I try to have at least 3 in every exercise. If I can have all 4 of them, it's the best. The most difficult one is the mental thing, to put in every exercise. That can be a challenge for you as well as a trainer, but if you can do it, it's really good. So the physical part is like reaction, speed, balance, power, acceleration, everything. The technical part is the motorical part, like how your body reacts when you do two things at the same time, the coordination, and then the basics like running, jumping. First, you have to be good on the basics before you can start with the other things. Strength, not like strength in the gym, like more strength. Let's see, how can I tell it in English? Strength like be able to do a thing a long time before your body wears out during the exercise. The tactic is like theory, whiteboard, learning by doing, and the question why. I always use the question why to my players. Doesn't matter how old the players are. I use the word why. I always ask them, why do you do that? Why do we do this? Why didn't you do that? Everybody says didn't is a bad word. I think it is the best word in the world. I always use it. So, but that's my theory. Anyhow, the theory part can be a little bit tricky, but if you give them the idea how to work the exercise, it's a kind of theory as well. Theory and tactics doesn't have to mean this is the way to score a goal. It can be a theory of the exercise as well. Why do we do this? What will happen when we are able to do this good, and blah, 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 and so on. And the mental part is visualization, tired and action, challenge, losing versus winning. In Sweden, I don't know if you heard it, but winning is a bad thing in Sweden. The young players don't take scores when they play until they are 13. When they are 13, they start to make scores, who wins the games or not. So I think that is a really strange thing to do, because I think it's a big mental part to be able to lose and be able to win. So I'm kind of against the waves in Sweden in this question, but that's okay. Anyhow, this is my 4 different segments of each exercise. When I do an exercise, I try to put these 4 parts in. And this is a part of my, which is the base of my multitasking. So out of 4, I try to get all 4 or not, I will at least have 3 of these parts. Sometimes I just have physical, technical, and mental, or mental, tactic, physical. It doesn't matter. Always try to have all 4. Okay? Any questions? Everything is good? Yeah. Let's go on. The physical part of the exercises is touchable. When I mean touchable, the player should be able to feel it. Really. They should be able to touch that, like touching and feeling it. Oh, I'm tired. I'm weared out. I can't do this anymore, or I'm finished in my head. The technical part is also touchable, where you can work with them, just like the physical. They are working hard and they can feel that their body is doing things they normally don't do. Tactical is a vision that you as a coach has to implement to the players. This is my vision of the exercise. Because if a player doesn't understand the exercise, don't know why he'll do it or why he should do it, they probably won't do 100%. They will go like maybe 70, 80% and just thinking, why am I doing this? What is this good for? I think the player has to have the vision and to understand the exercise. So this is the vision part. And the mental is a feeling. It's a feeling that the players get, that they feel good about it. They can be tired and still do the action. They can handle losing a game, and they can handle winning, because handling winning is as hard as being able to handle a loss. And they have to know as well as the challenge. The challenge in every practice is like, okay, this is the part where I have to be really good, or else I won't make the exercise. Then I have to go again and again and again until I make it. So this is the part of the before training, when I start to do my challenge exercises for the players. I normally use 2, maybe 3 different challenge exercises during my training. Not every day we train, but if we train 6 days a week, I probably have 2 or 3 of these kind of trainings with 2 or 3 exercises based on this. Okay? Good. Because I always think it's like, if you have this kind of working, you have to instruct and correct the players in the beginning, so they understand the idea behind challenge your players. So they have to understand the vision of the exercise. So they really can feel the mental strength that, okay, I can do this. Even if I never done it before, then it's get motorical. They are used to it. The body is normal to do it, and they just go on. And then we have the physical part, where you can always put some more physical in every exercise. And because if the players don't have the vision of what you're doing, or they don't understand it, it could look like this. It could look like this in their heads.
Hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät hier, das Gerät. Überlebensradar. Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
What are you thinking about? This is just a, if there are any Germans out there, I'm sorry. This is just a good example of what I mean. This older guy, he just pushes him in the back and says, radar, and then he leaves with no instructions, no vision of what he will do there, and nothing. And the guy who sits there for the first time, he has no clue what's going on, and he doesn't understand what he's supposed to do. So this is kind of what I mean. If you have an exercise, you have to explain it good to them, even if they're old, because the older dogs, they are more lazy, and they won't really want to know why you should do anything. The younger ones, you can trick into doing it, but the older ones, you really have to explain to make them do their best. Have a big vision of it.
Hier ist mein Sektor.
Sorry. And this is also a thing which is about the challenge to players. It's about that we as trainers have to beat the time. We have to put in as much as we can in a small area of time. Maybe we train 2 hours, or somebody just train 1 hour, 30 minutes, or the really young ones just train for 1 hour. I think as a coach, we really have to beat the time, to do as much as we can, to be able to push our players forward, challenge them to be as good as they can. And that means that also we have, as coaches, really have to plan what we're doing to beat the time. For example, just an example, let's say we have 2 or 3 goalkeepers in a team, and you should warm them up, all 3 of them. You know goalkeepers, just in front, warming up, side, down, bam, bam, bam. If you take a goalkeeper, it will take, let's say, 25 minutes or 20 minutes, 25 minutes to do all 3 of them. Sometimes it's just 2, it still takes 20 minutes. And that is a valuable time that we normally just have a line of players just standing in line, shooting a shot, going back, shooting next shot, going back for 20 minutes. We have to be more efficient. We have to be more effective. We have to push this limit to make the most of it. For example, here is some videos of how I train with even as older players. But I think most of the videos is about players 15, 16 years old. But I promise you, I do this with my senior players as well. Maybe they don't like it because they're not able to do it, but I push them to do it. It's a challenge. Here is the goalie keeper: direction, reaction, speed, balance, technique, everything. instead of one line, we do this. It's still a line, but these guys are 11 years old. They've never done this before. They've never done it before. It's the first time. We're warming up the goalkeeper. You still take 20 minutes, but during these 20 minutes, they get to work on the balance, the technique, the speed, the footwork, everything. This is my senior players in Norway. We're warming up the goalie. And they're warming up as well. Instead of standing in a line, they're doing this. This is the girls. Okay. So this is the kind of how I think when I do, for example, warming up the goalie, just to challenge the time or winning, beating the time and challenge the players. Instead of one line, we're doing this. This last one with the girls and the rebound net, and you have this pivot sitting here. She has to take the shot at the same place all the time, so the goalie can work on her technique, on saving or sliding or whatever she does. That is up to you. But this is the way of how I work with multitasking and challenge the players. For example, when we're warming up the goalie. Do we have any questions? Good. Another thing, which is about challenge the players and speeding the time, is the water breaks. Normally, we have maybe 2 or 3 water breaks during a practice. I don't know, but I have 2. Sometimes I don't have anyone. But if we do, I make the players work every time. If they want to go drink, they have to work before the drink. And if they drink, they have to go again. So every time they take a bottle, they have to go again. So when I say water break, they go down to the water bottles, take a sip, and then they work. If they want more, they have to work again. So the water break is no break. It's a physical training. I always have this standing maybe behind the goal, or I have in the middle, depending on what practice I have. If I have fast breaks, it can't be in the middle like this. Then it's behind the goal. But if they want to drink, they have to work for it. And I promise you, after like 2 or 3 practices, it's not so much drinking during the practice no more, because they know they have to work for it. So that is a good way of beating time also. Every minute is important to us. For example, this. They drink, they go 2 times. Every time they drink, they go 2 times. Same thing, direction, reaction, speed, balance, technique, everything. And also when we have position shots, I try to make it a special one. Not just shooting some shots and then go back and shoot some shots again. I want them to, of course I do some normal shots as well, but during special periods of the season, I do this kind, like, because I think if they have to work really hard on every shot, they are more and more serious about their shooting, because they know I have 5 shots and I want to do as many goals as I can. And if I don't do it good, I have to go back. You understand? Because they get a challenge. If they have 5 shots, they have to score 3. If they don't, they have to go 5 shots again. So this is my Danish team. We had this like 2 or 3 times a week. We do this. You've seen this before, it's nothing special. But he gets 5 shots, and every shot he do, has to be goal, or 2 or 3 or 5, or 3 out of 5 should be goal. This is last one here is an example of the physical training by position. The right back is doing the movements over there because it's the right back, and the playmaker is doing his working over the zones because he's doing that. The left wings are doing their things. Normally, I don't normally have normal position shots. They have to work for it. I put them in different positions. They have to run up and run down and do all strength things just to keep them challenged. And then maybe 2 or 3 times a week, they can shoot normal and they are really happy. So that's a good way. That's how I think anyway. Physical to what? Reaction, speed, balance. So. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Here we go. The technical part of the exercise is this. Here is also physical, acceleration, the technical, winning versus losing. In this exercise, I think these are 14 or 15-year-old players. I always like to, for example, these guys are sitting down. I want them to sit down just to do this jumping before they start, like a signal for the body to, here we go. Now it's time to start the exercise. Then they have 2 meters up, and then they have to go back just to make the muscles get started. So jumping, moving, backward, coming again, as a signal for the body to start. It's coordination, strength, everything. This is the first time they're doing it also as well. After a while, they start to do crosses and everything. Here's just coordination. These players are really young. I think they are like 9 or 10. I always look for the challenge in moving from one part of the court to another part. Or they are running with the back against the players and they have to turn around and meet the players and quickly get the feeling of where they are and where are the opponents, what am I supposed to do, work together, and not a lot of space. I just want it to be really, really tight. Coordination, passing, just passes, normal passes. Not so easy as it looks. This one, for example, the idea is to, one is making the pass and the next one is coming behind. So if they want to have a good exercise, the first one has to do a good pass, focus on the pass to the next player, or else the exercise will vanish. It won't be any exercise. As you see again, they're running with the back against the opponent and they have to turn around. Two against one is good. You see, after the exercise, they immediately have another challenge to do. As soon as they're done, they do the next thing. In the start, when you start doing these exercises, multitasking and challenge the players, you quickly see that the timing is totally off. But after a while, the players adjust. They know I have to start at this time. I have to do this and this, and they will find the timing. This is the Norwegian youth national team, which I worked a lot of. I had a lot of this practice with the youth national team. And I can promise you, they never done it before, but I hear they are still working parts of this still. So that is good. And then you have the vision of the exercise. Like I told you, the players have to understand what you're talking about. So every exercise you've seen here, I have explained it good, and I have given the vision of doing it, how to do it, why they do it. But after a while, when they start to think like this, their only challenge is to manage. They know the vision, why you do it. They know the theory behind it, and the thing that remains is only the challenge to manage to do it in the motorical way or the physical way or anything else. I can give you an example here. My daughter has been with me almost every practice since she was like 1 year old. This is last Christmas. She is 7 years old here. No, she's 6, sorry. And they're having a water break, or the practice is over.
Okay.
She's been watching all my practices, and she has a vision now. Why we play handball. This guy should do this guy should do this, and then we score. And she points at the guy, my best player, and he should score. Because I have been explaining to her in the car, and she's like 7 years old. But she knows the vision now. She's not always on the same page as me when we lose or when we win. Sometimes she thinks I should do a different way of play. But that is what I mean. They will get your vision if you talk to them and if you explain it. The challenge for them is to accept it and do the physical part, the mental part, the technical part, the motorical part of the exercise. It doesn't matter how old they are. They will get it, but it will take time. And I think as a coach, you should challenge them. You should make the brain work. It shouldn't be like they come to your practice and the vision is to go 6 against 6 for 45 minutes and then we run in fast break. That is no challenge. Not for the players. They will get bored. Not even if they tell you, but they will get bored. Anyway. Here we have the theory and whiteboard and learning by doing and everything. This is the mental part. This is the most difficult part because every coach has his own way of treating mental or the mental part or how he works with it. Some guys go the Russian style. Some guys go the Swedish style. And with the Swedish style, I mean the political part style. Like everybody should feel good. Winning and losing doesn't matter. Just as long as we feel good, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe the Russian part is more like winning, losing is not an option, or you understand what I mean. So this is the mental part is a reflection of you as a coach. What is important for you? That you have to put on your players. That's what I think anyway. And depending of the results, this is when they are seniors, of course. Depending on the results, I don't think the mental training, the mental part of the exercise or the vision should change, because then you have to change the whole conception of the training. So you have to decide which way you will go in the mental part of your exercise during the training, during the games, because it's a reflection of yourself as a coach. So my players know that this is important to me, that we work with a challenge, that we challenge each other on the exercise, on the court, in the games, even in the buses when we play cards, whatever we do. We have a challenge, and winning is important. Doesn't matter what. I will give an example of the Zanotti MTT training and the challenge for the players. You've seen a little bit of these players before, but this is the first time they do this kind of practice. It's the second time around they do it, this training. We have visualized it, we have gone through it, and then we do it. There are about maybe 10 players. You can have 20, it's no problem. It's depending, just put another challenge on, and then it will be okay. You see, you can early see that the technique, the technical part on some players is still off. So you have to train the technical part. And during all the exercise, you have to instruct, you have to help them. Do this, do that. Be better on this, think of this. So they don't relax and think they are already good at it when they're not. If they're good, you should say it. Very good, good, good. If not, instruct, correct, and do again. In almost every exercise, I go to, this is Waterbreak. Before water, they did this, for example. But in every exercise, I go 2 against 2, 3 against 2, or 2 against 3. I normally almost never go against 4 against 4 or 3 against 3. Not even with my with my senior teams. Well, what I do, I change the surface. How much space do they get? Do they get a lot of space, 2 against 2, or do they get just a little bit space? That is what I'm changing. And I like to play, what do you call it? When you're 2 attackers against 3 defenders, or maybe 3 attackers against 4 defenders. Just to push the limit, just to make the attackers really work to score. So that's the kind of way to challenge them. Here I skip, instruct them, be patient, and let them adjust. For some trainers, or even me in the beginning, I got really pressured and really stressed out because it didn't work out. My exercise didn't work out. They didn't do what I was telling them. It was chaos. But if you are a coach, be patient, just continue to instruct, and let the players adjust. Let them find an extra meter back, or get a little bit closer, get a little bit wider, or make the passes a little bit smaller or longer. They will adjust if you be patient. That is a part of the challenge as well, to adjust to the problem, to adjust to the challenge. So if you do that, you really have to let them adjust. Okay, thank you. Yes, that is a part of the concept of challenge the players in the exercises. Now I really would like some questions, and then I will go back a little bit to talk a little bit more. But in this part here, I would like to have some questions, if there are any.
Thank you. Johan, you finish with the presentation?
Of this part, yes. But I would like to have some questions, and then we go back to talk more specific, if you understand what I mean. So we can have a little bit of a living moment here.
Vasilis, you can ask. Please turn on your microphone or video. Vasilis.
Yes, of course. You were talking, Mr. Zanotti, good evening from Greece. You were talking about the hydration of the players and that they should be earning their hydration. But let's speak about young ages, about 9, 10, 12, 14 years old. It's not possible to give them this kind of motivation that I have to earn my water, because in normal situation, when we hydrate ourselves, it is in order to relax our body, relax our mind, and go inside the court again to be full speed and 100% again with full clear head. That's just my question. So is it possible to combine these two things together? Challenge to drink your water,
Absolutely.
or you're not drinking your water if you don't do what the exercise says?
I will explain what I mean there. Maybe I didn't explain very good. Is it you, Vasilis? Is it you? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Vasilis. Of course, they should drink water. Absolutely, they should drink water. But what I'm saying is, the water should not be a substitute for resting. You understand what I mean when I'm saying that?
Yes, I do.
Yes, and when I talk about earning, they should absolutely drink during the training, but I don't want it to be an excuse to rest. And I don't want it to be a part of the training which take 2, 3, 4 minutes before they get back again. I want them to understand that if we drink because that we have to drink. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay, but do you pass this through the senior categories also? I mean, we will do this also for men and women.
Absolutely. I can do this. I can say, we have a drinking break now, but you do 3 or 4 of these jumping and running before you drink, and then they do it.
Maybe it's a mind game for the young age to do this, and I will agree in the end that for young ages, maybe it's a good motivation. But when we were speaking about senior ages, if you will do this, we have to do with personalities, we have to do with characters. So maybe we must be a little bit careful on that. Am I right?
Of course. It's always a balance, But what I'm really talking about is that we shouldn't let this, I call it water breaks, be a normal part of training for standing and talking. You know, maybe you don't have this problem in, maybe it's just a Swedish or Danish thing that we're standing around talking and drinking for 4 minutes and then we go practice again. I want to use all the minutes. And then another part is, Vasilis, I am sure of in the arenas in Greece, much hotter and sweatier than it is up in Denmark and Norway. So I probably will agree with you that the players should drink, absolutely. But I don't want it to be an excuse not to stand around and talk before the train. Do you understand what I mean, Vasilis?
Yeah, totally. You covered me. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good question. Very good question.
Thank you, Vasilis. Someone else? More questions? No question for now. I will give something just for water. I think in Russia, no water during the practice, for sure.
That's a torture, I think.
Yeah.
It's a torture. No water. No water. It's a good idea. Sorry, my girl just came back from the beach. I have to shush her up. Sorry.
But Johan, I see that your daughter is have a great performance on the practice. You know, she will be a great coach for sure.
She is very direct. I promise you. In the car home, she is always telling you what to do and not to do. So yes, I'm sorry. She's been born in the arena, so that's the problem. Sorry, just 1 minute.
Akim, maybe you can call Mr. Dash from India to repeat his question to Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Dash, can you repeat your question? I cannot find in the chat because you asked in the beginning.
About position of the coach.
Yeah, and
do you hear us?
I find. I will.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Very weak, Mr. Dash.
Very weak.
The question is better because we don't hear you good. Here I find. Sorry, just a second. Yeah. How do you monitor all the players at the time in multitasking of goalkeeper and other players, and where the coach should to make position on himself?
Sorry, can you do that? Can you say that again? Sorry.
How do you monitor? Mr. Dash. Sorry, I will repeat it one more.
Thank you.
You monitor all the players at the time in multitasking of goalkeeper and other players, where the coach should to make position of himself.
Okay. Is the question how am I able to see the goalkeeper and the players at the same time? Is that the question?
I copy paste the question and I put it.
Okay, good. As a coach, you have to move around. That's a simple answer. You have to see the players in the exercise, watching them, looking at them, correcting them. You have to move around. That's the only answer I can give you. And of course, if you have 35 players, it's impossible to see everybody. But if you have 15, 16 players, 20 maybe, and 2 goalkeepers, you're going 2 against 2 with the multitasking training. You will see the goalie. You can instruct him if that's your part to do. Maybe you have a goalkeeper trainer. Then is that what he will do, and you will do the other things. But in normal, as a coach, your position should be where the action is. Is the action in the center part of the court? You should be there and do the exercise and do the monitoring from there. So absolutely, that is no problem as your position as a coach. No problem.
Okay.
Is that a good answer for the question?
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I just read what he asked.
Okay.
Hello.
Mr. Dash, the connection is very... Sorry, Johan, you can continue if we don't have any question. Yeah,
May I come inside?
yeah, David Miloradovic. Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Should I start my video or is okay like this?
It is
It's
okay.
okay.
Like
I
everyone.
even I can.
Hi, David. Hi.
Hi, hope you are good.
I'm
Hello to
very good.
everyone. I would just like to ask some question. Maybe it's not on the subject, but I have heard that you have spoken a couple of times about this making your position as a coach and making your style as a coaching, and specifically because I live in and work as a young handball coach in Switzerland, and I
Okay.
assume that it's I think the similar style is in Switzerland as a political style, and I hope that Dragan Djukic has right to confirm that. Sometimes I come personally, I'm originally from Balkan, from Serbia, and I have this mentality, let's say, like Russian Balkany school of coaching, and which is always to win, you know, and I try to adapt myself on this system of Switzerland, that the most important stuff is to participate and to be formed and to learn, to be educated. So I would like to hear some of your suggestions as a coach with more experience for me, when I find myself in this kind of environment, how to juggle, how to do between this emotionally, my originally emotion part of myself as a coach, and environment which is some kind of a Sweden environment. How to move between up and down between these situations. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's a very good question, David. I can tell you, I've been a coach in Sweden for almost 30 years, and the last 20, 25 years I've been a professional coach. I've been living, it's been my job. And the only thing I have never changed is my approach to my work. Do you understand what I mean? If you think something is true, this is my way of being the best I can be, then you have to go with that, no matter if the political correctness is there or not. If you have a Balkan style in your body, you can't change to be a Swiss style, because it won't be you. It will be a bad copy of someone else, and you will never be trustworthy. The player will see right through you. And then sometime when you get angry, they will see the real you, and they won't understand you because you're being a copy. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Can you follow me?
Yeah, of course. Especially if I may add, sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
When the doors are closed in our small court, everything goes well, and especially when we make a practice. But we are not only for the court, we are not only the 14 players. Of course, there is in some cases there is parents, there is public spectators, the media, etc. You have to follow this bigger picture, and that's why sometimes I have doubts about that.
Absolutely, I can understand your doubts also, but I think if you can see my the screen here where it says tactic, theory, whiteboard, learning, the vision, and the mental part. What ages are your players in now? What age do you train now?
I train a big aspect of players. I train some selection of Western Switzerland under 15. I also take a part in some other projects, but most of it's under 15.
Okay, good. But to simplify it, let's say if you have your vision clear and you tell the parents, like you say, well, if there are a problem, this is me working with your kids. This is me doing this. But this is why I'm doing it, not because I am a mean trainer or not political correctness, or because I think even though you have this approach, this Balkan style, as you say, but if you're fair and your decisions are always based on fairness and correctness, based on your philosophy, that you have been telling the parents or the club or anything, if they agree to that is a good way of doing it, they can't come back and complain later on. But if you break from your philosophy and your base on what the vision and the mental thing you were talking to the players, the club, the parents about, if you break from that, then they can eat you. But if you're still on the path of doing what you're telling them, and they agreed with this, they can't come later and say something else. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's always important. But if you start to change as a coach because you feel, oh, they're doing that, they're telling me that. But if you are true to the philosophy and you're being correct, you have no problem. That's the way I've been living, doing my job for 25 years.
Thank you. Especially because I stopped playing actively and now I'm building myself as a young coach, and especially because of that, I would like to hear the other opinions. Okay, I will not take any more time because there is more people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Every question is really important. Sorry.
Bye.
Be yourself, be Serbian. Okay, next.
Yes, exactly.
Rolando, please. Next question, Rolando.
Of course.
Okay, Johan. Johan, how are you? Great presentation as well, as always. And I would like to make a small question, but how do you manage the situation about the emphasis? Do you, when you prepare a drill with multitasking, you give more emphasis to technique, tactic, physical, mental? It's you suggest this, or it's like 25% for all, and following this, you in the weekly plan or in the preparation plan use more these kind of drills in what time of the preparation or of the season or the week?
Excellent question, Rolando. Excellent question. It's a good question because it's very important. Of course, if I do my exercise in the pre-season, I have much more physical and mental part in the exercise. More winning, losing, competition. Do you hear me? Can you hear me, Rolando?
Yes, perfectly.
Good.
Perfectly.
And more physical, more heavy training in the exercise, more push-up before the shots, more running, more jumping, more weights in the exercise. But when we go into season, I put more technical and vision and tactic in the exercise. And then if we have a big break, like a national week for the national teams, we have a break for 2 or 3 weeks before next game, I go back to physical and mental. But I still have the technical parts. Do you understand me? But I put more effort, more percentage on the physical and mental, and less on the technical. Yeah. And then I switch, depending on.
So you move the balance.
Absolutely, moving balance. Absolutely. That is a very. I will put that your question will be in the middle of this screen because it should be there, so you don't misunderstand me, because it's a very good question, Rolando. You have to switch the balance. How much percent physical? So yes, of course. That's a good question. Do you understand? Did I explain it good?
Very good as well.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Rolando. We don't have any question. Johan, you have something else?
Let's see here. I will just where is it? Here. I will just have 5 or 6 minutes about this goalie keeper warming up, because this has been a little bit of an issue, a problem, a challenge for me as a trainer. So I would just like to put a heads up on if you start to do this. When you do this goalkeeper warming up exercise, you should be very, 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 what do you call it? You should notice and look for that the goalie really get to save the ball, and the tempo is good, and the timing between shots is that good, so the keeper really can do his thing. So it doesn't have to be a high tempo. It doesn't have to be, it has to be a tempo for the keeper, because it's a warming up for the keeper. Sometimes when we do this in the beginning, the player just come and take the shots because the timing is a high tempo. But then you have to be as cool as a coach and say, slow down the tempo, do your thing, you wait a little bit, and now you go. For example, you can see here the goalkeeper sometimes don't get to, sometimes she's looking away and she's not ready. And the shots is not really good, they are not coming that they should be going. Then you have to be, as a coach, straight and say stop. So the practice is for the goalie. So the focus is on warming up the goalie and not shooting the shots. And that is the same for older players as well as younger players. There's no difference. If there's girls, women, or boys, or men, the timing and the essence of the exercise should always be clear. If it is warming up the goalie, that is what we do. Even though we have some other movements, some other exercises, like a flip or whatever it is. So that was what I would like to point out, because that is the main issue that can be a problem, that you forget the goalie. Okay, I would just like to put up a heads up and a cross in the calendar for that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will stop to share your screen.
Yes.
Okay, any more question? Dragan?
No, I would like to say thank you in the name of all of us for Mr. Zanotti, our friend from Scandinavia, Italy, and all over the world. And hope that you enjoy, all of you. And to say thank you for being with us in the last 4 days, having this special time, remembering that in these days, usually we are in Kladovo on our academy. I hope that next year we'll be together and share the wine after this. Tomorrow is the last day planned for the players. And actually we'll see if someone of you will like to listen this special young man from Switzerland, the one really special guy. Also, you can be a part, but I have to say that at 5:30, as 4:30 as usually, we will call the players, and if there is a place, we will connect you 4:45 if you want to listen. But tomorrow we will not have opportunity to make questions. That will be reserved for the players. Thank you, Johan. I wish you to enjoy your holiday. And if there is some questions, Akim, please.
Yeah, sorry. One more question. Isam, you can. Isam, you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I hear you.
Please.
Hi, Isam.
Hi. Hi, thank you for this nice presentation. I would like to ask about the challenge. I like this idea of challenging the players, but my question is, please correct me if I'm wrong. Pre-season training, I think challenge is going more to individual. Yes, because it depends on physical and motorical abilities. And I think during the season and when we are close to the season, we come more doing group challenge. Is this right?
Yes, it is. Of course, you're right. But you have to part what do you call it? You have to take it apart, because the individual training, the physical, you have to remember, we still run outside, we still do the gym. This is when we are in the hall doing then we do the running outside before the training or after the training, the individual part. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have to differentiate two different things. That's what I mean. So what I was showing you about challenge the players doing the exercises, it's what you do in the arena. Then you have, of course, in the preseason, you have much more running or interval running, so gym, whatever. But when you're in the arena doing the exercises, 2 against 2, 3 against 3, you have this kind of
challenge.
Was that your answer to your question, Nissan? Because if I understand the questions correct, did I? Was it okay?
Yeah, but yes, but what I mean about individual challenge, that what you said before, beating the time. We challenge self challenge from the player to beat the time.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And when we come closer to the season and the matches, we have to work more on group challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, I understand the question now. Yes, of course, you have to go. When you come into the season, it's more of a group. Yes, before you can go 2 against 2, and then you go more maybe 5 against 5, and with the challenge. Is that what I mean?
Yeah, what I mean. Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, of course. Yes, Isam.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
That's a good way.
Okay, thank you, Isam, very much. Johan, one more. I had 2-3 questions.
Good.
No, for you. They ask if it is possible to get your videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe it is okay. You can send me links, or I know that you have a lot of on your Facebook profile.
Yes.
These videos, but you can send me these videos, and I can send links on mails and everything. This is maybe the best.
Yes, I will try to put, let's say, I can do like, I can put out or send you maybe 20-25 different exercises.
Okay, great.
And you can distribute it to however you want. And if they want some exercises, they can just write me and I will send them. It's no secret. It's a small humble world.
Yeah. I know that you publish everything on your Facebook profile.
Yeah, it's no problem.
You can send me everything on my email. I will forward to.
Yeah, maybe it's good, Johan, if you type your details or your mail in the chat that everyone can see it, or your Facebook profile and things, how you prefer.
Where do I write? Where can I write?
In chat.
I'm in chat now.
Yeah, just
okay.
If you click in chat, then
I will give them my email.
Excuse me, Mr. Zanotti.
Yes, welcome.
I'm Vasilis again from Greece. This, what will be sent to us, it will be a base of developing our warming up with skills or more exercises of yours.
It doesn't really matter. What would you like?
Because your presentation, about your presentation today was about challenging the players, and the base was about having their warming up in a different way and putting some skills out from them. That's why I asked like this. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you send, it's acceptable, and we will need it definitely.
But I just wanted to be clear on something, Vasilis, that the warming up part, it was still the challenge. You understand what I mean?
Yes, I take it.
Instead of standing in one line and warming up the goalkeeper, you challenge them to do other things before they take the shot on the goalie, so they get really all the time.
Yes, I understand. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will suggest Vasilis and all the people who didn't follow our presenter, our lecture today, to come a little bit closer to his philosophy of multitasking training. That's absolutely different than maybe things what are you familiar with. And that's why I think, Vasilis, that you didn't understand well. That was just example of his approach to the training, to every part of the training. And if I can suggest every one of you who is not familiar with our YouTube page, you can find this presentation and training from Kladovo, multitasking training, amazing presentation there in the YouTube channel of Handball for All.
Thank you, Dragan.
Welcome.
You're welcome, Vasilis.
Final word from you, Johan.
No, I'm just. I hope you enjoy the presentation, and I hope you try it sometime, because it's a challenge for you as a trainer as well. That you don't go to training every day and doing the same thing, and try to sit at home and make a plan how to challenge your players and make them think and really wear the brains out, so they are really tired when they get home. So not just the body is working, also the brain, because the brain is an important weapon. So it has to work as well. So that's a little bit of a basis of Zanotti multitasking. I hope to see you on my Facebook page. And if you have any questions, just write me, no problem.
Great message for the end. And I will ask you to type your Facebook page once again in the group to everyone, yes, that everyone can see it. Dear colleagues, I would like to say thank you for your participation. I would like to see you soon. I wish you good health, and hope that handball will very soon continue to be an important part in our life, like is always.